All right. So first things first, I will be using MS Teams not only for those who are doing online attendance, but for everyone here, right? The reason we'll be using MS Teams is number one, all the announcements related to the module. What I will do is, like I posted here, whenever I post, I tag the entire team name. So all of you get a notification. You also get an email that comes to your mailbox. And also, why this is interesting or convenient is any doubts related to that particular post, you guys can comment over there, ask something, and then I can reply back. So, it makes one place where everyone can see all the announcements and also discuss any questions related to the module. So, one thing that I will not be doing is sending emails for any announcements related to the module because all the announcements will be done on MS Teams place. You will automatically receive the email, but again, once in a while, always come to the Teams, make sure that you have caught up with all the announcements. Generally, the announcements are more about, okay, install this, do this, or the deadline for the coursework is this, the link is this, and so on. So make sure in the general channel, you follow all the announcements. Okay. There's another channel called informal discussion where you guys can start any post if you want to. Let's say if you want to share an article, some interesting tool or whatever with your batchmates, you can start. In general channel, you cannot start a post on your own, but you can comment on my existing post. In informal discussion, you can start a post on your own if at all there is a need. And then is lectures and seminars channel, which is for online students who see the links of all the classes. So that's the way we'll be using Teams. Also, another way we'll be using Teams is on many occasions, I will create temporary assignment links. For example, today, when we finish the Excel task, I will create one link where I can ask all of you to submit your Excel sheet. Now, this is for my record to see if everyone is doing their work, but it is not graded. It's not anything related to the assessment. So any informal assignments that we have, optional assignments, I can always put the links here. You guys can also submit. But again, as I said, it's completely informal. There's nothing graded about those assignments. So is everyone okay with the MS Teams agreement? Now, the second one is your My Learning. And I'm not sure, have you seen the My Learning page already? All right. So this is how your module page looks like on My Learning. So it is the MSO4803. All the materials regarding the module, all the links, everything, you'll find it here. Okay. You can see that the module handbook is already there. So in case you want to know a bit more about the module, the assessment components, which we'll discuss now, everything is available in module handbook. Okay. You will also see, and I can put the student view so that you can see what you will see. Yeah, there you go. So you can see one folder which is called optional reading. Some of the interesting articles related to business analytics, I have put it up over there. They are not related to the module content, but at any point of time, if you want to, read some articles, you can always go through that collection. Then some important links, as and when we have some URLs, web links, etc. I'll keep on updating over there. And then for every week, you will see the materials as and when we go. For example, now week 1 is going on. Before the week starts, you will see the folder getting activated. For example, after this session, I will open the week 2 materials also in case anyone wants to prepare a bit early or whatever. So every week you will see week-wise materials getting updated. 2 sessions in one folder. So week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. This is how your materials will be organized. Any data set, any PDFs, any PowerPoint presentation will all be in the same folder. So is everyone okay with the materials arrangement as well? I hope you're using My Learning for other modules also, so it shouldn't be anything different. Now comes the most important part, which is your assessments. Okay. Very, very important to understand how the assessments look like for this module. So your assessments are divided into two components. One is hackathon, and second is AI deployment or AI lifecycle, as we call it. The hackathon is 40 percentage. The AI deployment is 60%. Altogether, 100% of the module. Let me give you more information and then I'll take all the questions at the end. One thing that you need to know, and this is your right to know, is you don't need to pass individual components. You need to pass collectively, which means even if you fail in hackathon and overall, if you still score more than 40, then you still pass the module. So you're considered fail only if collectively you score less than 40%. Is that clear with everyone, right? What else? Deadlines. Excuse me. We're discussing something super important, so please have a look. Deadlines for in-class hackathon, roughly we keep it around session 13. Right now, session 2 is going on, okay? But again, it depends on where we are, how much we have completed. It could go to session 14, 15 or things like that. So roughly, it would be the later end of the module, but the exact date and time will be given 2 weeks before so that you know this is the date, this is the time that you have to be there for the in-class hackathon. I'll tell you more about what is in-class hackathon, but first the deadlines. The deadline for the second one is after the module. Once all the sessions are done, you will be given one additional week where you will complete the assessment and then you will submit after the module is done. So during the module, only one assessment. At the end of the module or after the module is completed is your second assessment, which is 60%. Okay. What else? Let me differentiate in-class hackathon versus final AI deployment. Now, these are two independent courseworks not connected to each other, first of all. Secondly, both of them are individual. There is no group component, there is no group presentation, nothing. You are on your own in your solo journey for all the 100%. So no group anywhere is required. It's all individual assessment components. Next, let's talk about in-class hackathon. I think briefly I had mentioned in session 1 what it is, but let me give you what it actually is. In an in-class hackathon, it's a timed assessment. Okay, 3 hours, which is your class hours, will be your assessment where first a data set will be given. Okay, all of you will be given different data set, but pretty much similar theme and same industry and all that. You will also be given very specific objectives on what you need to achieve. Okay. For example, in Soup.com, I gave you the objective, right? I told we need to predict whether the customer would make a transaction or not. Something similar, objective will be given, data will be given, step-by-step instructions will also be given. You need to do this first, then you need to do 2 algorithms, you need to paste the screenshot of the output, you need to do the interpretation, step 1, step 2, step 3, everything is given. The only thing you need to do is to do it. That's it. Okay. And again, as I said, this is completely open, GPT, Claude, whatever in the world you want to use, open internet, open materials. You don't have to mug up anything. You don't have to learn definitions. You don't have to, ask GPT to give you paragraphs and stuff like that. 100% problem solving, but with clear objectives. No research needed, nothing. So who does well in a hackathon is someone who has attended all the sessions well, knows the platform well, knows how to run things, knows how to do things, and slightly is experienced with the business side of it and can execute things better. It is a high scoring component, I would say, because it's just about whether you did it or not, right? If there were 10 steps, if you achieve all 10 steps, you got the output, you're good. At least 85% is guaranteed. The remaining 50% will depend on how well you did those steps. But if you did everything, above 80 grade 1 guaranteed in hackathon. The component 2, which is, okay, before I come to component 2, what we assess in a hackathon is not your research abilities, is not probably your business acumen. We are assessing skills. Have you acquired the skills that the sections have taught you? If you have acquired, as I said, 85% is guaranteed. It's just about doing this, getting the output, putting the screenshot, and completing the hackathon. That's all what is required. You don't have to catch head and tail of 1,000 extra things. Part 2, however, is a very interesting assessment, which is almost similar to part 1. So in part 1 also there will be data, there will be objectives, you're doing an end-to-end life cycle, you're cracking, doing some predictions, getting the output, etc., etc. But in part 2, although the objective is the same, it's a very different assessment component. In part 2, the only thing you will be given is a data set. That's it. And all of you will get different data sets. Some of you might get data set from an airline sector. Some of you might get from a telecommunications sector. Some of you might get traffic accidents data. Everyone will be assigned. Not, you don't have to choose. You will be assigned different data sets, but of similar complexity. Now, the problem in assessment 2 is that's it. You are given only the data set. You are not given what to do with it. You're not given an objective. You're not given what to predict. What is the objective of this? And that is where you start your journey, where we started today, formulating a use case. First, you will have to come up with an idea. What do I do with this data? What kind of AI will I do with this? What kind of predictions would make sense? Which industry would benefit? Who are the stakeholders who will make advantage of this? Whatever we discussed today, you'll be doing it in coursework 2. You will come up with your own idea. You will come up with your own use case first and make sure it's a practical use case, industry relevant use case. Once you come up with the idea, you solve your own idea because you came up with it and now it's time for you to do it. The data is there. You solve the use case. You choose the algorithms, you run the algorithms, you see the output, you see the predictions, you refine the model, you present it to the business. That's your part 2. If you compare the research, there is almost no research in part 1 because, as I said, everything is given to you. You don't have to worry about anything. You just have to do it. Part 2, nothing is given except data. So everything is research. For example, if you got an airline data set, some of the columns in the data you don't even understand. That's where research is needed. Now you start reading about airline industry. You see, okay, what is this parameter? What are these knots? What is the safety hazard in all this? You are developing domain knowledge by doing your own research. Once you have domain knowledge, then you come up with an idea. You say, oh, this is what I can do with the data. This is where AI can help. And once you come up with that, you do it. You solve the use case and you execute it. That's what is the second component, and that's why it is weighted higher than the first component. Okay. How much time will you have? Once the data is assigned to you, you will have more than a month to work on the second use case. And by the time I assign to you data, you will have a fair idea of what to do, what not to do. You can get started. You can start getting into algorithms. You can start experimenting. So you will have more than 1 month to only work on the second coursework component once the data is assigned. Okay. Now, what are the deliverables for hackathon? What are the deliverables for your second coursework component? I would say, a worse appreciator of reports because we know how reports are done. Half of the time you'll be prompting GPT and then doing the report and the document. Least worry about reports. That's the best part of the module. You don't have to submit any report. So then what are you submitting? In part 1, a document will be given to you, an answer template, which is step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. What you have to do is, it's not a report, but you see step 1, you run the model, you take a screenshot and put the output and write 1 or 2 lines about it. Step 2, we asked, what did you do for the data transformation? You take a screenshot of the data transformation, you put it, and step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, you submit the Word document. It will be some screenshots, some explanation, 3 or 4 lines per step. That's it. And you submit. That's the deliverable for hackathon. For the second one, the deliverable is a recorded presentation. No report again. Okay. Which means you are on your PC, you have your data IP platform where you have run all the models, you have your PowerPoint presentation. Again, for your own benefit, we don't really need a PowerPoint presentation, but you say, okay, you can structure your presentation. You can say, I did this in domain knowledge, I did this for acquiring data, I did this for modeling. And as it when you are explaining, you are also shifting tab, going to data IP, showing us, so this is where I ran the model, this is where I did this is where the results are. You talk about the results, you talk about the recommendation. It is only your presentation, nothing else. So which means your recorded presentation goes as a deliverable for the second component. We don't need any reports from you. Because once we see your presentation, we know what you have done, how you have done, where you have done, what is your idea. We get to know everything. So why waste time in using Gen AI to make reports which no one would even read? And that's why it's a very practical kind of an assessment where you take something, you come up with your own idea, you solve your own idea, and you try. Okay. What preparation can we do for the hackathon? Remember the date when you will have your hackathon, just the previous session to it, there will be a mock hackathon, which will give you an experience of what the hackathon will be. The good part is when you go to the hackathon, it is 40% of your assessment, and we don't want you to go unprepared, right? So we will create almost a similar scenario of the main hackathon, same thing, like 3 hours, data set, the objective document, the stepwise report, and everything will be exactly the same. You sit through it, you understand where I'm going right, where I'm going wrong, how much I could achieve, how much I could not, how do I do the time management. You learn from mock and then come to the main hackathon, which will be the graded one. Mock will not be graded, it's for the experience, but I would say the format, the complexity is almost the same. So we want to give you an experience first so that you understand what it is, and then you take that experience and go into an actual hackathon, which will be marked and graded, and that will be 40%. Okay. Now I'm open for questions. Anything from an assessment's point of view?
Part of assessment, that's a video presentation.
That's right.
All the
30 minutes is the gap. But again, we don't want you to exactly go till 30 minutes, but some people would need time and they would say, okay, I need to explain a bit more. Ideally, it should be around 15 to 20 minutes. Should be more than that. Yes. Now that's a good question. Now everyone please pay attention. For each component, the hackathon as well as the second one, there is a proper objective document in place. And for example, in the second one in particular, you will be given guidelines on what can you include in the presentation, what do you talk about, what is the marking criteria, what percentage is assigned for which component. Everything will be in detail. And when the time comes, we will first do a briefing of the objective document. The document will be shared on My Learning, and then the data set will be assigned, and then you start doing. So right now, I'm just giving a very overall kind of an idea of what assessments are going to look like. But for everything, there's a detailed document, rubric, marking criteria, everything will be shared. Anything else? Yes, recorded at your place. You do it, then upload the video. So it's not live. I'm not listening live. You record the presentation, upload it on Fiverr offline. Yeah. Anything else that you need to clarify? I thought there will be many doubts on assessments. All clear? Okay, fantastic. So once again, 2 assessment components, combined pass, not individual pass. So if you fail in one, does not matter. As far as overall you get above 40%, that's considered the pass rate for the document. Okay, that's it. Yeah. In which one? So Second one, yeah, second one, and the objective document will tell you what exactly we are looking at, because the marking criteria tells how much importance we are giving to practicality of the use case, the innovation element, the correct things that you did technically for running the algorithm. So all that will be explained very clearly. But for the first one, I can say what we are looking at is, have you done it or not? As simple as that. As I said, if you complete the 10 steps which are asked to do, then 80 to 85 is minimum guaranteed. And then the remaining 15 is how well you did it, right? How well you interpreted it, how well you wrote a few lines about it. So that's the extra part. But part one is relatively yes or no. Did you do it or not? Part two has a lot beyond it, and that will be given in the marking criteria. But I can roughly tell what we look at. Number one, how practical is your use case, right? I remember 2 years back, one data was given, and one student had come up with a use case of predicting a gender, the AI that can predict whether a customer is male or female. Now, he built a whole use case around it, but there was no use of predicting. Like, why would you predict whether a customer is male or female? He couldn't justify that why that AI was needed, right? And he couldn't even say what difference does it make if the company is not predicting whether a new customer is male or female, because hardly, I mean, why would you want to predict your customer is a male or female unless there is a specific requirement? So he made a whole use case. He did everything correctly, but the whole use case didn't make sense because there was nothing that the business could do. Everything was right. Technically, everything was correct. Accuracy was good. Everything was great. But then there was no use of the use case. So one thing that we look at is how practical your use case is. How much is it benefiting the company that you are developing this use case for? And then the process that you follow, which means right from the three dimensions, data transformation, choosing the right algorithm, interpreting the right output, and so on. But again, you will understand it better once we go through the algorithms and then discuss the marking criteria so that okay, this is exactly how I have to run the algorithms. Okay. Anything else? All good? Shall we continue with slicing and dicing? Okay. Anyone needs the URL once again? tinyurl.com/mdxbank. Is everyone ready? If you can keep the Excel sheet in front of you, I hope you're all with me. All good? Perfect. Do you need the link? tinyurl.com/mdxbank. Yeah. All right. In case you have forgotten the rules remain the same. No change on the main data set. The new pivot table will be on the new sheet. Whoever completes first and second, +3 and +2, we continue the point system. Online students, if you finish first, then you just put a screenshot of the table. All right, everyone, pay attention. This is your task. Task number 2. We continue the same way. You are the analyst, I'm the manager. I'm asking you another angle of data. Please look at what I want, understand it carefully, and only then start doing it. So, I still want list of cities like we did in task 1, right? Dubai, Abu Dhabi, London, blah, blah. However, for each city, I want to know something else. Okay, do you remember what did we do in task 1? Average of customer rating for each city. In today's task, listen carefully. I want to know how many customers in each city belong to different rating categories. Okay. For example, see how I read this. In Dubai, there are certain number of customers. 40 percentage of them belong to good category, 60 percentage belong to not rated, total is 100. These are random values. Okay. In Abu Dhabi, there are some number of customers. 30 percentage of those customers are very good, 70% excellent, total 100. So on and so forth. Percentage split of customers across different categories of rating city-wise is what I want. Let's get going. Yeah, sure. So list of cities is there. I want all the cities. For every city, I want to know the number of customers spread across different rating categories percentage wise. For example, in Dubai, there are certain number of customers, 40 percentage in good, 60 percentage in not rated, total 100. In Abu Dhabi, there are, let's say, 30 customers, 30 percentage of them belong to very good, 70 percentage belong to excellent, total 100. So on and so forth. Try, start doing. Remember the process, row, columns, values. Do the pivots, start with rows, identify the columns, put the correct values, and then change them to percentage. Anyone? Good stuff. You can take all the help from GPT, but not uploading any data. Ask GPT how do I get percentage in pivot tables. Anyone online? Check. No? If you finish, you raise hands. Top two spots open. Done? Sorry. Your name? No, it should be exactly in that form. This format, yeah. Rows are this, columns are those, percentages. You are close. Done? Yeah. Bobby, right? Is this with pivot?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you put in values? Yeah. Small error. See, the total should be 100. Huh? No, see the percentage. It should exactly be percentage, percentage, percentage. I just want to say.
Percentage in the grand total. I don't know.
Yes. Done. You are close. We do it together. We're just trying to see self-exploration. You're close. Your cities, your rows are correct. Your columns need to change. What you put in columns need to be something different. I still not got top two. I think someone posted online. You said no.
Utkarsh is okay. Right.
So what is the value here? Too much. Like more than 100%? Yeah, that's not possible. It has the total should add up to 100. That means something is wrong somewhere. Yeah, that's interesting. May I see? Okay, and 35 by good. We have got top two. So someone online got. So Pavi and online. Okay, let's do this.
The value. See, in the board,
Okay, let's do it together. Guys, please don't ask your friends. We will do it together. Just have some patience. Everyone, let's have a look and let's do it step by step. Even if you have completed, have a look because there is one way of doing it, and I'll tell you where many people get it wrong. So, same thing, insert pivot table, blah blah blah, all remains the same. Now, one thing that I can understand is if you are struggling with percentages, okay? If you're struggling with percentage, that means concept wise, you don't have a problem. As far as you got your rows right, you got your columns right, you could see the structure clearly, you are good. That means conceptually you are good. The only trick in this was how to put the right percentage at the right place. If that's the only step you did not get, you're sorted, which means you have clarity on what is this view of data, what is row, what is column. However, if you couldn't get the structure right, which means your row versus column and the kind of values that you're seeing, you still need to revisit our process. And what was the process I said? What do you start with?
Visualization.
Visualization, which is what I showed you, right? Let's look at the visualization. And this is what I showed you. And from here, I identified three things. What do I start first? Rows, which is cities. Sorted, done and dusted. Then you ask the question, do I have one column of values or do I have multiple columns of values? Multiple columns. That means I cannot ignore columns. There has to be something that should go in columns. What do you think are there in the columns? Rating text, which is what tells you if it is good, very good, not rated. Columns also sorted. Now comes the most important thing, and please listen carefully. The next question that you would ask, what values do I see across rows and columns? Have a look here. Have a look here. Guys, please do it with me. You'll understand much better. What values do you see across rows and columns? Okay. Now, this is an important step because everyone jumps straight to percentage. They say, oh, we want percentage. No, you don't want percentage. Percentage will come later. What you actually want is first numbers, raw numbers. What are these raw numbers telling you? What is there across rows and columns? How do you say? So imagine it was 5 and 6 here. What is this 5? What is that 6? No, those are not ratings. So I'll put the numbers and you tell me what these are. So let's say in the raw numbers here it's 5, not percentage. It's actually 5. And oops. Oh, let's say this is 5 and this is 7. Okay. I think it has changed the column. Okay, 1 minute. Change the cells. Okay, so this is 5 and this is 7. and this is 10, let's say, and this is 11. Now, can anyone tell me what does this 5 represent? Number of customers who are in city Dubai and have got a rating of good. What does 7 represent? Number of customers who are in Dubai and have got not rated as their rating, which means you have actually answered the third question, which is what values are we looking at? These are nothing but number of customers, right? And now here is the important question. In rows, you know city will come. In columns, you know rating text will come. When it comes to number of customers, what do you think should come? Which field? In rows, the field is city, right? In columns, the field or the value is rating text. In values, what field? Is it rating text that you will drag? Is it something else? Customer ID. Now, this is very, very important. And that's why I was asking you, Kavi, what variable you got in there. Remember, you can get the same answer even if you count the rating text. Let's say you count of rating text will also give you same answer. Count of any other field will also give you the same answer. But the correct thing to do is count of customer IDs. Why? Because customer ID will have the least probability of a missing value. And because it's a unique representation of a customer. If you take rating text, there could be 6 customers where rating text is missing, and hence the count of rating text could lead to the missing values. All good there? Please do it with us. So always remember, whenever you are counting number of customers, always choose customer ID as the right field to get into. Now let's build the pivot. So I take city, drag it in the rows. I take rating text, drag it in the columns. You see my row and column is ready. I take customer ID, the first one, and put it in values. This is the answer before the percentage. That means, and read this with me, compare all your results if you haven't converted to the percentage. In Abu Dhabi, there are 20 customers in total, 7 of them in excellent, 1 in good, and 12 in very good. That's how you read the first row. In Agra, there are total of 20 customers, 1 average, 1 excellent, 9 good, 9 very good. That's how the split is of number of customers. Now, what is remaining? Percentage. Pavi, can you help us on how you convert it? Okay. Value field settings. Show value as, okay. And there you have lot of options. Which option did you choose? Row total. Now, everyone, again, please stay with me on this. You will always get confused. Which one should I choose? Grand total, row total, column total. Now, what is the formula here? It's pretty simple. Ask yourself this question. Where do you want the total to be 100? Do you want every row to have a total of 100? Do you want every column to have total of 100? Or do you want the entire total of row and column to be 100? Tell me. Every row should total up to 100. So you choose percentage of row total so that all rows will total out to 100 percentage. And that's it. Compare your results. Abu Dhabi should have 35 in excellent, 5 percentage in good, 60 percentage in very good. The total should be 100. If anyone has not got it, I'm happy to help. Let me know. All good? You did grand total. That's why the percentage was that. Yeah. So Utkarsh and Pavitra. Okay, for this one. All right. Okay, now one more opportunity to score additional points. This is based on a question that I'm going to ask you right now. You don't do it, just have a look at mine. Basically, the same pivot table. I just filtered out New Delhi and London. Okay, now as a manager, I asked you this table, you made a table for me. And I said the reason why I asked you to make that table is I wanted to compare two cities. And these are the two cities that I wanted to compare. How is the bank customers, how do the bank customers behave in London versus how do the numbers look like in New Delhi? Now tell me this. As a business analyst, you should immediately flag one area of concern here. In fact, two areas of concern. Tell me.
Not really.
Number one, not rated. You would say, look, whatever you do the interpretation, make sure you know 26% of New Delhi customers are in not rated category and you see zero in London. So try and investigate why 26% of New Delhi customers come under not rated category. Definitely one flag that as an analyst, you should tell me because I asked you to develop this table. Can you tell me another flag? There is one highly contrasting difference between
Excellent.
excellent number. And please have a look because my question is exactly on this. Now, if you look at London, 75% of London customers are in excellent category. And how many in Delhi? 0.5. It's not 50%. 0.5 is less than 1% in excellent category. And now my question to you as an analyst is, what should we do about this? How should we investigate? Why are why is such a big contrast between I mean, if it was 10, 20, 30% difference, we understand. This is 74% difference. Where is 75 and where is 0.5? It's a sharp contrast between excellent category of customers. And as a bank, I must be worried about this. I must start investigating. Can you help me in investigation? I'm asking you the question. Tell me how should I think why it is happening? What is the problem? Is it something about the cities?
Awareness.
Okay, number one could be because of the awareness. What else?
Customer ratio, the number of customers in one city, for example, we take the average, we take the average.
Correct.
London has less customers and New Delhi has more customers.
Okay.
That's why the ratio grows.
But then, always if you compare all the cities, what they have is always different number of customers.
Yeah, percentage of customers, like for example, London having a lesser number of customers
Hmm.
would tell you why it has an excellent rating.
Okay. So you're saying because, but how would,
Out of the customers.
right, but I'm still comparing percentage, right? So 75 versus 0.5, like whatever be the actual number of customers, this is a percentage of that. So percentage wise, also there is a big difference, though you are hinting closer. Anyone else?
Criteria for which they are being judged.
So you're saying different cities could have adopted different criteria for the rating because of which the rating might be different. Yes, that is one thing that I can investigate.
London might have a different minimum balance and New Delhi might have
Correct.
different.
Correct. And that is something that as a bank we can check as a policy, right? Anything else? The closest answer I got was yours, but not convincing to what I'm looking at. All others are good answers as well. Any final answer? No? Okay. Let me tell you what is happening. Now, if you tell me about rating criteria, if you tell me about cities, if you tell me about how London customers behave differently to New Delhi, etc., as a bank, as a senior manager, definitely these are some things that we can look into. But as an analyst, you should give me some numbers, some statistics before we go into this discussion of why such a huge difference. And that's why I asked you, so what? Because you could have presented the actual numbers. Yes.
London has only like 20
That's right. I give it to you. I give it to you. So now let's have a look. Now you would say, so what? It is still a percentage, right? Let me show you something on how percentages can completely deceive our perception on what we are looking at. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's, and again, you don't do it, just have a look here. Let's go back to raw numbers, not percentage. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort these cities from largest to smallest customers. This is what you are looking at. Now, have a look. Number one city in terms of number of customers is New Delhi. And how many customers are there? 5,000. See the total 5,473 customers. Every city starting from Ghaziabad has less than 25. And apparently, London has only 20 customers in that data set. Now, you would say, still so what? I mean, there is percentage, right? One is 75, one is this, which is okay. The problem here is, I would say, these three cities, New Delhi, Gurgaon, and Noida, in mathematics, we call them something which disturbs our analysis. Outliers. Fantastic answer. And essentially, what you were doing before getting into criteria, and as you said, those are all valid answers. But before getting into that, your comparison was one value from an outlier set versus one value from a non-outlier set. And that is a crime when you do that in the analysis. Even comparing the percentage, forget about doing AI modeling. If you would have compared Lucknow to London, I don't mind because both of them are from the non-outlier data set. Even Lucknow and London have different number of customers, but you can still compare, no problem. Percentages are okay. One from the outlier, one from the non-outlier are not apples to apples comparison. You are doing a wrong thing by comparing the percentage. And imagine how much of outliers can make a difference in the analysis. Someone is asking you, can you show the customer behavior and pattern? You did all the analysis and you said, this is how customers behave. But you never told that 5,473 customers actually belong to one city. You just said all the customers behave like this. Yes, they behave like this because it is dominated by one city, and maybe only that one city is behaving like this. Others are not behaving like this, but you presented a full-fledged analysis across the whole customer set. You were also not wrong because you took the entire data, you presented, but the problem is you are not aware that the results can be highly dominated because of the three cities that are acting as outliers. Another interpretation. Many people, when they see an outlier, they say, how do we deal with outlier? Just delete the outlier. Okay. Now, imagine if you delete New Delhi from this list, you're only deleting one row, right? New Delhi is just one city out of all the cities. But in another angle of data, how many are you deleting? 5,473. And that's why these angles of data make a huge difference in how you perceive outliers, how you report the results. It looks easy, remove it. But then, you are impacting the other angle of data. So the solution here is not to delete New Delhi, but to be aware that whenever I'm presenting something, whenever I'm reporting something, I tell that there are three outliers because of which this is happening, because of which you can't do this, because of which you can't do this, and that awareness is very, very important. So for this, I give Pavitra 2 extra points, and we move on to the last task of the day. Last one, but the toughest one. All right. Last task of the day. Let's see. This is only about creating that pivot table, probably the hardest one. But again, follow the process. Do rows, do columns, and do values. So listen carefully. What is this last task then? I want you to group the customers based on their rating. What is the rating scale that we have? 1 to 5, but 0 represents not rated. I want you to group the customers in an interval of zero point 0.5. 0 to 0.5, zero point 0.5 to 1, 1 to 1.5, 1.5 to 2, all the way till 4.5 to 5. Now, for every group of customers, I want to know how many customers give feedback, regular feedback to the bank, how many customers do not give regular feedback to the bank. For example, if you look at 4.5 to 5, let's say 30% of them give feedback, 70% of them don't give feedback. Let's try. Do the grouping and all later. First follow what do you see in your rows? Identify the rows. What do you see in your columns? Identify the columns. Then identify what you see in values, fill the values. Then see how do you group. Then see how do you convert it to percentage. That's the ideal approach. Last task for today. Let's see. Almost there. You just need to find a way on how to group these. Your structure looks good. Just think how can we club this? Anyone? As I said, rows put the right thing, columns put the right thing, values put the right thing. Then check how do we group. Then check how do we put the percentage. 5 steps.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
I'm done.
go ahead.
Uh, I'll share the screenshot.
Okay, let's check. Looks correct. Looks correct. I'll verify. Thank you, Udit. Good one, Udit. Looks right.
Thank you.
Done?
I should too.
Yes. Yes. Correct your name. Shan. Shan. He's so happy for you. Okay, so we do have the top winners. Mohammed Shan? Yeah. Okay, let's do this quickly. Everyone with me. Insert pivot table and you guys help me now. What do you think was there in rows? Customer? Rating, correct. So let's put customer rating, drag it in rows, done and dusted. What do you think is there in columns? Provides regular feedback. Let's do that. So provides regular feedback in columns. It automatically does a yes or no. What are we looking at as values? Number of customers. So the same thing that we did earlier, which is customer ID and count of customer ID. That's your structure. Your rows are good, your columns are good, your values are good, count of customer ID, regular feedback, customer rating. Now only two more steps remain. Step number one, grouping those ratings and converting the remaining into percentage. How do we group, Shan? How do we group? How did you group? Yeah, and then right click. So in fact, you don't even need to select. Just right click any value of customer rating and you will see an option called group. As simple as that. Just right click any value and click on group. It automatically picks up the minimum value, automatically picks up the maximum value, and then it asks, how do you want to group it in an interval of 1, 2? How do you want to group it? 0.5. So change that 1 to 0.5 and that's it. It will group it for you. And once you group, let me ask you some questions. You see 0 to 0.5, but you don't see 0.5 to 1. Why? So when I group, I see 0 to 0.5, but I don't see 0.5 to 1. I don't see 1 to 1.5. Where are they? There are no customers in that, and that's why you don't see any values. In fact, 0.5 to 1 is technically even not possible because 0 means not rated. That's the only rating you have, and all other ratings start from 1 onwards. Now, the only part left is percentage, which we already know. Click on value field settings, show value as percentage of row total, and that's it. You're done. If you want to make it a bit more beautiful, you can select filters, remove the blank, and that should be your perfect table. If on the top row in the column labels, if you just click, you see blank is there, just remove the blank.
Yeah.
One last point before we finish the class. Everyone, please have a look. Please, there. I don't know if you noticed. Everyone, please carefully have a look. I don't know if you noticed, but there is a pattern in this. And as an analyst, your hunt should have been to find that pattern. Now, let me tell you what the pattern is. As an analyst, I would not even read that top row, 0 to 0.5. I would not read those percentages. Why? It's not rated, right? So I don't care what kind of customers they are. They could be a 4.5 customer, they could be a 1.5. I don't know them. So I will start looking at 1.5 to 2 and have a look at the percentage of customers who don't give feedback. Okay. 33, 37, 67, 71, 61, 74, and 87. Now, this is a solid validation for the bank. Let me tell you why. Your best of the best customers who are 4.5 and above, 87% of them don't give feedback, which is contrary to what you might think. And you might say, oh, if a customer has a good rating, then they would be giving regular feedback. This is almost the concept of you eating out at the restaurant and draw a parallel. When you go out and eat, something bad happens to you, some bad service or bad food, you are immediately tempted to leave a review. And you say, it was a horrible experience, it was bad. If everything was good, unless someone forces you to write a review and give a feedback, you wouldn't jump on and say, oh, it was all great, everything went well, right? Exactly what is happening here. Now, these customers, have a look at those 1.5 to 2 and 2 to 2.5. 66 and 62 are giving feedback, which means on many occasions they would have been denied some banking products. Maybe their credit card limit was lowered. Maybe a loan was not sanctioned. So many things could have happened because their credit score is actually low. And when bad things happen, they write to the bank and they say, how did you do it? What is this? The bank is bad. It does not say whether they give positive feedback or not. It only says they give regular feedback. And this is a validation that your best of the customers are happy, satisfied. Not giving feedback does not mean a bad thing. And this is a solid analysis of a pattern which gives the inverse relationship between customer rating and providing a regular feedback. And that's the output that you would present to the bank. Has everyone got it? Anyone needs my help on this? If yes, thank you so much. Enjoy your week. I'll see you next on Tuesday. Yeah. And your timetable remains the same, right?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Lubna.
So just wanted to check with you regarding my attendance. I
Mhm.
couldn't put in my attendance.
Okay, for the QR code?
Yeah.
You want me to share now?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yep.
So, I'm Alicia, and my
Mhm.
yesterday's attendance is also not marked. I can see on the MDX app.
That's right, Alicia. So for those who are attending online, I'll update it at the weekend. I'll take the log of Teams meeting and then update it manually. I haven't updated yet.
Okay, okay. Thank
Okay.
you, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. See you.